Greetings, beloveds. My name is Eric Delgado, one third of the Delgado brothers, and we are here to introduce you to our new show, the Delgados podcast. And I appreciate you joining us today.
My name is David Castro Delgado. A lot of you know me as Castro the Connect, Castro the Plug. You already know I'm outside. Like he said, born in Harlem, raised in Brooklyn. Excited to have you guys with us today. Want to introduce you guys to our podcast. It's going to be interesting because we're going to talk about all things relevant, but not in the way that you're used to hearing your content, right? All of us have a very distinct way of speaking about things, and you're going to learn a lot about Eric from his opinion, and you're going to learn a lot about me based on my opinion. And we look forward to getting started. I feel like it's going to be exciting, and I feel like there's nothing on the internet like us. I don't feel like anyone has our point of view, so I feel like what you hear here is going to be law from now on, moving forward. This is the new podcast. This is where you get your podcast drip from. You heard? So, what's interesting is this, right? There's a lot of things going on in politics right now. Me and you have had some casual conversations about this. People are super upset that Kamala lost, and either you're overjoyed that Trump won or you don't like Trump. What are your thoughts on this guy?
Well, personally, I was actually rooting for Kamala, to be honest with you. I ain't going to lie about it. I had $500 on that bet, and I lost.
Wow.
Right?
You were confident enough that you put $500 on her. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely facts.
Okay.
Right? I necessarily didn't like her message, and I didn't believe in what she was talking about. But it was more of the thing that if she won, she was sticking it to the man. That's the only reason I wanted her to win. Not because I believed in anything she said, but because I thought if she won, it's like a big fuck you to the world.
So I understand why you would take that road. A lot of people wanted Kamala to win. I personally knew that the United States is not ready for a female president. We weren't ready when Hillary ran. And if we're not going to elect a white woman, we're for sure not electing a half Indian, supposedly half black woman, right? It was interesting because the other day someone was like, oh, well, she's the only viable black female candidate. So that's not a lie.
I thought she was qualified.
Listen, she's decently qualified, right? She's smart enough to hold the office. Look who's holding the office now. So to say that she's not intelligent enough to hold the office, that's not the truth. She's intelligent enough to hold the office. My issue with Kamala was she's too far to the left. In terms of Trump, I feel like all things in the world are right when an indignant white man is running things. It's always been that way. Think about this, right? When a white man is in power is what the world is used to. The Democrats thought that after the debacle that Joe Biden was, we would be in a position where we could elect a black female vice president that was under his tenure. He may have potentially had the worst presidential tenure in the past decade.
Worse than Carter?
No doubt about it.
I mean, in the 70s, he said some real crazy things about his kids going to school with black people and all these kinds of things. And, but he tried to rectify, he tried to fix his things later on in life and do some things for the community, I feel.
But here's the thing. You can't wage war on a particular race of people for 50 years and then in your 4-year presidency feel like you can fix that. Because you let some black kids go to school and you forgave some student loans and, you gave some people some PPP money.
Did he author the 3 strikes? Was he one of the authors for that?
He was one of the authors for that, right? So,
we could have got caught up in that back in the day.
Bro,
we were like right there.
Right? So, in terms of Trump, personally, and this is not a popular opinion, I know a lot of people are going to dislike me for this, I don't mind him because he's what I'm used to. I'm used to racist white men being in power, right? Let's not be upset. Like everybody's like, oh, Trump this, he's that. He done took away DEI. DEI was never for you anyway. right? White women, right? It's a proven
And
fact.
Asians.
Listen, white women are the biggest beneficiaries of DEI. This is factual. You can Google this.
Absolutely.
You can whip out your phone and Google it right now. No one has
It
benefited
was never
more.
made for blacks.
There you go. And no one has benefited more, right, from the initiatives in DEI than white women. So it's never helped me. So I don't know why black people are so caught up in, he done took away this. They taking away Black History Month. Bro,
He just threw a big ass party in his crib.
I kind of want to segue into something else where we were almost getting there, and then we kind of switch gears a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with this deportation. What are your thoughts on the people that Trump has been deporting?
It's not my fucking problem. I'm Puerto Rican. We don't need passports. That's number one, I'm going to say. And number two, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I work for a law firm. I ain't going to tell you what law firm I work for. Very prestigious law firm.
Right.
And a lot of the catering department of my law firm, as a matter of fact, probably all of them are all Hispanics or so-called Latinos, right?
Okay, let's delve into that a little bit. When you say Hispanics, are they Dominican, Mexican, Puerto
Dominicans,
Rican,
mostly Dominicans, Mexicans, El Salvadorians, and those types. Not Puerto Ricans at all.
Okay.
No Puerto Ricans in the kitchen.
Okay.
We don't do that shit no more.
Okay.
No disrespect. But it was others, so-called Latinos. So during this whole Kamala Harris Trump thing going on, they were all saying they were all going for Trump.
Oh yeah,
Trump this, Trump that, Trump.
Yeah, because me no black.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That whole thing. So I'm like, okay, that's what's up.
You
Now,
like that?
your politics
You
is
like
your,
this?
your politics is your politics.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But then my whole thing is like, you know, in my mind, I know Trump don't fuck with you guys. You know what I mean? The Democrats had a whole plan to bring you guys over here, and that's why you guys are here. Right? It backfired on them, but that's what happened. Well, listen, the Cubans historically vote Republican. Historically. Because of the Kennedy situation with Russia.
And it hasn't served them well at all in any way, shape, or form.
But you can't tell them that. You go to Florida in Miami.
They just keep licking the boot of the Republican, and it's served them well in no way, shape, or form.
Rubio's the secretary. How you feel about Rubio being secretary of state?
Rubio's a boule Hispanic person. If you never mention his name or his ethnicity, neither will he. Rubio's been white the past 40 years. All through college, he was white. All through any office he's held his office as a white man. Don't let where you think his origin is from confuse you.
I call them secondary Europeans?
Yeah, come on, man.
But without actually being European?
Bro, of course. This is my take on deportation, right? And it's not a popular one. Now I'm going to say this. If your country is in turmoil, because a lot of these people are claiming that, you know, in their country there's turmoil, there's problems, they've no health care, they've no food to eat, their children can't go to school. These are problems that us as Black Americans deal with every day, right? Black Hispanics, Black Americans, we are one of the most underserved communities in the world. And this is not a third world country. So for you to be escaping turmoil in your country and come here and feel like us as Americans should be concerned about your plight and feed you, clothe you, give you health care, educate your children, right? Give you food stamps, right? Put you in a hotel. So New York City has more homeless veterans, right? More homeless veterans in New York than 50% of the other states. Why couldn't we take these same hotels and house our homeless veterans? Why are we housing MS-13 members from Venezuela with their kids? Bro,
that's a good question. Why?
Bro, are you crazy? I'm going to tell you why. The reason why was they wanted to swing the election. They thought if they brought all these migrants in, and here's the real kicker, and gave them services, that they would vote Democrat because the Democrats were the one that opened up the doors, and New York is a sanctuary city.
It wrote the check.
Yeah, Mayor Adams, had an open checkbook. Come in here, we'll educate your kids, we'll put them in school, we'll get you some health care, we'll get you guys some temporary green cards. So all these little services, we'll set up these migrant camps, we'll do these little things for you guys, and hopefully when this election comes, we'll get you guys to vote Democrat.
Right.
Here's the problem with that. Hispanics don't see themselves as the minority. They're always going to side with whites.
Facts.
They're always going to side with whites.
They don't want nothing to do with a party that has upper level blacks over them.
If you thought that Venezuelans and people from all these Latin countries are coming here to side with black people and vote black, you're crazy.
Never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen.
Kind of Puerto Ricans are really the only ones who always been fucking with blacks from day one. Even Dominicans don't fuck with blacks like that. They like the culture, but they don't really fuck with them.
Yeah, but Puerto Ricans vote Democrat, traditionally. Puerto Rico as an island is a Democratic island. Puerto Rico's been sucking the breast of the United States since the late 1940s, right? Welfare, food stamps, all these benefits exist in Puerto Rico. You think the Puerto Ricans want to get rid of their sweet benefits? That's what separates Puerto Ricans from Dominicans, right? We'd be a third world country too if we didn't have the U.S., right, letting us suckle her breast. We'd be no different. The lights would be off, crime would be through the roof. It'd be girls selling ass all over the island for $40, $50. It'd be the same place.
Facts.
The only reason it's not the same place is because you get the little bit of benefits and you get to fly back and forth to New York when you feel like it. I'm serious. That's what separates the Puerto Rican from the rest of the Hispanics.
You think Puerto Ricans are gonna get a little offended by that?
I'm Puerto Rican. You offended because another Puerto Rican told you the truth?
Nah, they can't get mad at it.
Brother, para decirte la verdad, lo que está pasando en Puerto Rico ya son 50 años que está pasando.
Más de eso.
100 años.
Right, facts.
La misma cosa. You feel me?
Yes.
Do we want to be a state? We're not voting for statehood. You have no choice now. You're too dependent. You have no choice but to become a state. You better pray the U.S. accepts you as a state. So you could be like Hawaii.
Wow, that's deep.
Because if you don't, what's next? Then you're going to be like Haiti? You vote to get away from the U.S., we turn into Haiti. If you vote to stay a U.S. state, or rather become a state and transition from a commonwealth, you become Hawaii.
Right. And Hawaii has like a very low percentage of actual real Hawaiians.
Correct.
That's straight Japanese, and
it's gentrified.
It's crazy.
They took the whole island.
It's crazy.
Which is what's going on in Puerto Rico now.
Yeah, for sure.
Puerto Ricans own a very small percentage of the island.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man. So I like your insight on what you said about Trump. It was very poignant, and I want to thank the people for checking us today on our first introduction podcast.
Yeah, listen, we look forward to hosting you guys.